So we do that through a variety of program areas. One of those is our commercial lending office. And then we have Brett Whiting on the call. He's our loan officer. And we offer financial assistance to startup and existing businesses for growth, expansion, retention, and the creation of new jobs. We also offer assistance in the redevelopment of commercial corridors. Another area in our office is our contractor and supplier diversity. Colleen is in that area. We also have Juliet Nelly and Latanya Germany, and they offer training and support for city initiatives that are designed to increase the local contractors' capacity to compete for government contracts and other procurement opportunities. It's really important to the city of Columbia that our procurement reflects the diversity of our great city, and we do that through a variety of program areas, including subcontractor outreach, mentor protege, local, local business enterprise preference policy program, and the Columbia Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. Lastly, we have our technical assistance, education, and advocacy area. We offer business development assistance and courses for startups and existing businesses looking to grow and expand. We include topics such as marketing, social media, business plan development, finances, legal issues, and more. I also encourage anyone, if there's a program area that you're interested in that you think the city should offer, we encourage you to contact our office and we will see what we can do to provide those resources to you. Also from our office on the call, we have Tanya Porter DeBerry and Carla Eichelberger, as well as Sandria Robinson. Our director is Miss Melissa Lindler. She's on vacation, but she is always she's passionate about assisting small businesses, and she's a great resource if you ever have any questions on how you need to start or expand your business. And we also have a lot of great partnerships, which I will introduce in just a moment. Some of our upcoming webinars, our third session of this series, we have Paul Smith again, and that will be on Thursday at 10 o'clock. And it's entitled Skills to Pay the Bills. So we're really excited about that. And then on August 17th, we will offer a Profit First webinar with Stephen Hughes. He's the executive director of No Money. So you can find the links to register for those webinars on our website. Again, our website is www.columbiasc.gov/OBO. Our office is located at 1401 Main Street on the 4th floor. Currently, we're still closed to the public, but if you have any questions, you can contact our office. We are all in the office now. You can give us a call at 803-545-3950, or you can email us at obo@columbiasc.gov, and we will be happy to schedule a meeting with you to discuss what opportunities we can provide for you. Now I would like to introduce Cheryl Sally with Benedict College Women's Business Center to go over some of the services her office provides. Cheryl?
Thank you so much, Aisha. Good morning, everyone. And thank you to the City of Columbia for hosting this great event. Just thank you to the SBA as well, and all of our partners in South Carolina. My name is Cheryl Sally, and I serve as the director for Benedict College Women's Business Center here in Columbia. We are a statewide center, funded almost coming up on a year now, funded in part by the SBA, Small Business Administration, and we're happy about that. We're here to serve our pretty much women entrepreneurs in South Carolina. Now, while we do serve and focus on our women entrepreneurs and small businesses, particularly women of color, we do serve all individuals and small businesses, regardless of race or gender. So our purpose here at the Women's Business Center, our purpose, our mission, our vision is to create a gateway out of poverty for our socially and disadvantaged entrepreneurs, giving them the tools, the information, the education that they need to start and grow successful businesses. Just stimulating this economy, having an impact, showing individuals and companies just how to leave a legacy, not only for their families, but in the community. We provide an array of services, core services and COVID services, those resiliency and recovery services, how to pivot. What does that mean? Thinking out of the box, the basic business planning. You can't get from here to California without a map. So on this business journey, you really need to know where you are now and what are the steps that you need to take to grow a successful business. And successful, we want it here for the long term, not just starting today and ending in a year or 2 years or 5 years. You have to have the strong foundation, the strong infrastructure. So what does that look like? What does business systems look like? How do they interact and how do they operate? How do you develop standard operating procedures? So all of that is inside of that business plan or strategic plan for existing businesses. We do a lot with helping businesses to do their financial projections, developing, and a lot of times, I'm gonna back up a little bit, businesses or individuals thinks that the business plan is for a lender, but it's not just for a lender. Yes, lenders want to see your business plan, but the main reason for the plan is for you individually, for the business itself. So you can organize and have a systematic way, for growing your business. So we help with all of that, government contracting and certifications, networking, marketing, all the different ways you can market, advertise, and grow your business, public relations, developing a bankable relationship, and so on and so forth. We help startup businesses, as I said, as well as existing businesses, focus on for-profit businesses, business in pretty much any industry. We don't know all the industries, but there is a basic foundation, the basic things that every business needs to have in place, no matter what industry your business is in. And no matter whether it's a for-profit, a nonprofit, civic organization, or or faith-based organization, there's basic business management skills and tools that you need to have. So I'm gonna stop right there. I'm excited about this series. As I said last week, I have my paper and pen ready to receive all of the great golden nuggets that Mr. Smith is going to share with us today. And working with his company and Community Works, we're planning on developing another series, talking with the lenders, traditional bankers, non-traditional or alternative lenders, showing small businesses and individuals how to develop a relationship, that bankable relationship. And Mr. Smith talked about that a little bit last week, but very important when you look at the overall financial plan and developing those financial strategies for your business, having that sound financial foundation is crucial, a crucial part of your business management and your infrastructure. So just like Community Works, Mr. Smith's company, the City of Columbia, Richland County, Department of Revenue, and all of the great resource providers and entities in South Carolina that work with small and minority businesses, we partner with a lot of them. I said last week, you don't know what you don't know. So show up, stay connected, network, because we are the connectors to the resources that you need in this community in South Carolina. Everything we do one-on-one is at no cost. And there is a wealth of knowledge in our network. And we're going to have the Small Business Administration representative, Ms. Valerie, come before you in a few minutes and talk about, some of the other resources. So I won't go into that, but there are resources all over South Carolina to help your small businesses. So with that, I'm gonna stop. Thank you again. And we have our contact information on the screen to connect with us, become a client, so we can, sit down with you and help you develop the strategies for your business. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. You can see she's very passionate about being a resource for our small business. So we encourage you, if you have any need for her services, or if you don't even know where to start, you can absolutely contact Cheryl. She's a wealth of information, and we're so happy about our partnership. So next I'm going to go to Miss Valerie with the Small Business Administration. Valerie?
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm going to say hello right now. I have a very slow speed connection, so I'm going to bounce out of view, but you're still going to hear me talking. And I just want to express that I appreciate Aisha. I appreciate what Cheryl has shared with us already. I work for the Small Business Administration, and yet she makes me want to go out and start my own business. I tell you that. And I'm looking forward to what Mr. Smith is going to be sharing with us as well. So let me bounce out real quickly. And I'm going to share with you that we're Small Business Administration. We're a federal agency, not an association, but the administration, because our administrator does report directly to the president. Um, we're located in Columbia, South Carolina, with outlying offices in the Charleston area as well as Duncan Spartanburg. My colleague Will Furman handles the Charleston area. I'm in Duncan Spartanburg. And then we have a wealth of individuals, our leadership, Greg White, our Deputy Director, Michael Corp, and a wealth of staff members in our Columbia office. I want to share with you that we were involved in trying to make sure that we usually call it 3 C's. I like to call it 4 C's. We're involved in trying to ensure that you have great access to capital, that you understand and you can traverse the contracting arena. We make sure that there is good business consulting, and we like to make sure that we are embracing the community as a whole. So we're approaching business from a holistic perspective, resilience. If you can't, in an effort to make sure that you have a valid, vibrant business, there are other things that are going to contribute to that. And as such, we like to make sure that we partner with the best in class partners, to include people like Cheryl Sally from the Women's Business Center. Our resource partners include the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, which used to stand for the Senior Corps of Retired Executives. Embedded in each of those organizations are top-notch individuals, great experience and expertise. They and we together can help you with anything from business exploration, startup, access to capital, mentoring, expansion, teaming, contracting, consulting, selling or buying a business, merging, recruitment, retention, taxes, and even winding your business down. We also work in close concert with the local chambers of commerce, colleges, lenders, and community organizations. And what you'll see before you is just a quick synopsis of what kinds of access to capital we're engaged in. So we have a 7A loan program where we actually don't issue, but provide backing to loans up to $5 million, in some cases up to $5.5 million, depending upon whether it involves green energy or export. We provide an SBA express backing, which is a quick turnaround loan up to $350,000, where SBA comes in and backs the loan up to 50%. So you only have to bring 50% of your needs to the table. We deal with the 504 loan program, which is, of course, loans up to $5 million for economic development, and loans up to $50,000, which are a microloan product offered by CDCs in the area, certified development companies in the area. In South Carolina, there are 3. And then beyond that, we also deal with the Community Advantage Loan that actually is an outreach product for underserved markets. That's in its pilot program state for loans up to $250,000. And we have two parties that do lending in this state. And you'll also see, I don't know if you can see it real well, but we deal with federal contracting programs. And we actually have 5 programs in place. The 8A program, which is a 9-year business development program for socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, where those parties are at least the 51% owner. And all of these are for small businesses. Women-owned small business, where there are potentially opportunities where if the business is 51% or more owned and controlled and managed by women, you can actually compete for set-asides in that arena, as well as economically disadvantaged owned women businesses, where the net worth of the women must be under $750,000. Service disabled veteran-owned small businesses, and historically underutilized business zones, which are distressed, underutilized areas. Usually they're in your very urban areas where the income for the area is a little less than the mean income for the state, or in your rural communities. So we try to provide some leverage to those businesses that qualify or want to apply in those areas, so that you can compete for federal opportunities or set-asides. Because in the end, I'm from Maryland. I came to South Carolina from the Maryland SBA as a business opportunity specialist there. And I can share with you that I've had some serious success in trying to work with small businesses as they navigate the federal sector, seeking contract opportunities and creating jobs. And lastly, we provide counseling along with our, as I referenced, along with our resource partners. So whatever your needs are, we hope that you will reach out to us or one of our partners. We hope to take your hand and lead you to wherever it is you need to be, or have you in turn lead us and provide you with support along the way. Thank you so very much, and I look forward to hearing participating in the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Valerie. As Cheryl and Valerie said, we have a lot of free resources that are available to our small business community. So we encourage you to reach out to any of us, and we will be happy to connect you with the appropriate agency. So at this time, I would like to introduce our speaker, Paul Smith. He is the CEO of Best Carolina LLC, and he serves as a lead instructor for the South Carolina Community Loan Fund's Local Entrepreneur Accelerator Program. He's also a certified next level facilitator, specializing in business startups, existing businesses who wish to grow, micro enterprises, and specialty training in agriculture-based ventures, going green, signage, and money management. Additionally, he's a certified fast-track new venture trainer with the Kauffman Foundation. He's been a college instructor since 2004, teaching all aspects of business curriculum. He received his BS double major in finance and risk management from the University of South Carolina and an MBA in business from Webster University. Now I will turn it over to Mr. Paul Smith.
Okay, and thank you, Aisha, and thank you, City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, and our partners there, the Dean, Cheryl Sally, and Valerie, hearing again of the wonderful resources you have at your individual locations. And speaking of that, as a follow-up to last week, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about the ecosystem, and just hearing Valerie and Cheryl communicate, I just thought about this, that within a 10 to 15 mile radius, we have Reed Street, that's Cheryl, okay, 1225 Laurel Street, that's where I'm housed. There's also Allen Brown, SBDC, and the City of Columbia Main Street, as well as the SBA. So again, within a nice power walk or a short ride, you have access, we have access to all those tools, and it's additional tools in the toolkit. And as a reminder from last week, one question was, what about the grants? Later in today's segment, I'll provide a few links on grants. Lowe's is one in particular, and I Fund Women, which is a dedicated website to the females, as well as those who are pretty much looking to advance their nonprofit. The second installment is entitled Cash Flow. cash flow and the simplified business plan for small business owners, either current and or prospective. And later in the segment today, there's one thing knowing your numbers. It's one thing to know your numbers, but then from that standpoint, how, once you've known your numbers, how can you effectively communicate that for yourself, as Cheryl alluded to earlier, for your own knowledge, and also to a loan committee, a group of investors, or venture capitalists, and or to your employees. Okay, so again, we'll have time for the chat. I think that's about slide 7 or 8, but let's get started in the essence of time, and I will show you at about 10:45, 10:50-ish, a $5,000 pitch, and also, well, I'll talk about that later. Let's get started, okay? Deal. I'm gonna go to the slideshow mode, just let's go here. Okay, there we go. The importance of the cash flow statement. What is cash from a business owner's perspective? Where does it go? Again, money never comes with directions. You have to almost tell it where to go. And we're always struggling with, do we have enough? And we've got to get that cash right, because that's key. Made the proper adjustments. And I'll give you some recent events. This is COVID-19, and I'll share with you some testimonials I've heard from small business owners in Greenville, South Carolina, Spartanburg, the Midlands, and the Low Country. And I'll just kind of give you what I've been hearing. And this may have been beneficial pre-COVID, but again, not so much after COVID-19. Remember, we're all doing this in the midst of COVID, okay? Here, generating profit does not put cash in the bank. And without cash, the business cannot survive. I'm going to give you a short tutorial. It's less than 2 minutes. Here we go.
Go out of business? The answer's yes. Today we're going to look at the difference between profit and cash flow. Imagine I own a small building company and I want a few jobs. I go out and buy the materials for the jobs for $10,000 and have an apprentice for $4,000 per month to do a lot of the work. I make sales that month of $20,000, which feels great. If I look at my profit and loss statement, it reads sales, $20,000, cost, $14,000, profit, $6,000. I think to myself, great work, but I only have $10,000 paid to me the first month as deposits for the work. The rest is sitting in accounts receivable, waiting for clients to pay. This means my cash flow statement looks like cash in, $10,000, cash out, $14,000. Cash flow, negative $4,000. By the end of the month, I am worried about paying my apprentice and myself. This is a simple example, but you can see how even here it could be a problem for a business to survive. Managing cash flow in business is vital. If you have too many people owing you money or cash flow becomes a problem, reach out for help.
Okay, as you can see, profit.
Closures, a truly unprecedented opportunity is.
Okay, there we go. As you can see, clear example. Okay, so again, cash flow and profit sound similar, but there's a striking difference. Here's just some recent events in the wake of COVID-19, and I'm always going to position my presentations with COVID as the backdrop. The research, and I mentioned this earlier, 82% of business failures. So if you are a current prospective business owner, here is, what is the what if scenario? Cash flow, or a poor understanding, okay, how it contributes to your business. And I'm going to try to encourage you to look at those drivers. What's driving revenue in your companies? And I'll give you some examples later to focus those efforts towards those that has the highest return on investment, ROI. Some of these terms, these acronyms, love them. And again, if you're not familiar with those acronyms, that's okay. That's why the ecosystem exists. EBITDA, okay, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation. Again, you might not be an expert in this. That's why a competent accountant or just sitting down with these business counselors can assist you. Richard Branson just went to space about 2-3 weeks ago. Guy's a multi-billionaire. He said, never take your eyes off the cash flow. This guy's a multi-billionaire because it is the lifeblood of business. Again, cash flow. Yes, you have revenues minus expenses. That's net income. That's the income statement. Profit and loss, and I highly recommend time and time again, QuickBooks. That's what I use personally, QuickBooks, okay? But again, cash flow. Okay, let's move forward. We'll give you some examples of what goes into the cash flow and back to this ecosystem. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunity has that COVID impact survey. I've mentioned COVID 5 times in the last 3 minutes. Okay, but again, we'll focus today on questions 22, 23, 25, and 27. And you'll see with 431 responses, okay? 431 responses say regarding or surrounding the area called cash flow. And then we'll look at a personal cash flow statement segueing into an actual business-ready cash flow, okay? Here we go. 1 year ago, I was a rookie at this, but now I'm becoming more and more. COVID, yes, COVID. Thank you, Paul. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Has your business had difficulty paying bills for the past 12 months? Again, okay, I'm going to scroll down so we can go next. Maybe not. For some reason. Okay. Okay. 23. What resources have you applied for in response to COVID-19? Paycheck protection. And a word of caution, ladies and gentlemen, and no disrespect, we have the subject matter experts online as well. To rely on grants or governmental intervention is not a sustainable long-term strategy because there are some limitations. Again, I have experts on the line, but I'm just cautioning you with that. I've spoken to a lot of business owners, grants. And I'm saying, yes, but they have a certain window of opportunity. And sometimes when that window closes, It's closed for a while. So having a sustainable business plan, hats off to Cheryl Sal, that business plan, that guide. So again, I'm not saying say never, but whenever you're hearing the government, it can change with an election cycle. So again, I just want to cover that. But here, resources, as you can see, 431. Here, how would you use the assistance? Rent, mortgage, that's a fixed expense, all right? And look at payroll. Rent, mortgage, payroll. Later in the segment today, I'll give you some tips, some strategies that you can implement to utilize that reduce that overall impact. And I have the links later. I'll embed it in the chat room. Just want to cover that for right now. And let's go to 27. City of Columbia, okay? But again, that's a short-term measure. We're looking at this, both and, not just one and done, okay? So we're good. And here, 27. What are your needs? And the city, a loan package, building a relationship. Again, I mentioned earlier, it's one thing to know the numbers, but now be able to communicate those numbers. Here we go. Let's go into, I'm going to do this, a personal cash flow statement. This is courtesy of Community Works, and I'll take you to the website in a second. Okay, personal. Begin with the end in mind. Know where you are. So if you're a prospective business owner, you're about to meet the SBDC, Alan Brown, who's on the is in the same building, 1225 Laurel Street. You're going to SCORE, which is on the 4th floor. I'm on the 3rd floor, or the WBC. Do this for yourself. And again, be honest. Be honest. Okay. Here it says it is what it is. Here's where you are from a personal perspective. As we go for this, okay. Total household expenses. Again, my goal is not to insult your intelligence. You're very well intelligent here, but personal cash flow surplus, because certain lenders will ask for a global cash flow. GCF. What's global cash flow? Well, your cash flow from all sources. And we know that micro enterprises, 1 to 5 employees, generating roughly $35,000 to $50,000 in income. So that would be a combination. Some of your LLCs, again, I'm using these terms here, might be single member. One-on-one type environment, okay? So I want to show this to you as well. And this is the one of the CDFIs. I know personally because, again, I'm employed by Community Works. But here's what we offer, okay, just quickly, okay, and I'm not going to do this as an advertisement, but to kind of show you what's there. Express loans, okay, micro business loans, startup loans, good. But I want to really highlight the following here, the eligibility and specifically, and back to Cheryl, thank you for the WBC last week, business liability insurance is required. Last week, we talked about business interruption insurance. So we go up to $250,000, but here's the application process. And this is almost standard for everyone, okay? So again, kind of keep an eye, and all these slides will be available, the recording will be available, 3 personal references, a loan request detail form. Each agency has their own forms. I just demonstrated to you a personal cash flow, but now a personal financial statement, okay? And later in the segment, I'll give you a simplified business plan and a minimized business plan, a 12-pager and a quick shot 4-pager in a second. Here's a personal financial statement. Okay. You can see this. And again, this is an Excel type spreadsheet. I want this to be overwhelming for you. But again, so I'm giving you personal cash flow. And it's pretty much your bank account. Pull up your Wells Fargo, your Navy Federal, Palmetto Citizens, and you can see on an ongoing basis. And this is coming, SCORE website has templates as well. Here, Community Works, but it's fairly the same. And you type in those amounts, where it is. Because what we're trying to avoid is having a situation where you're mortgaging your home. You're taking out payday loans to supply your business without first identifying cash flow. Okay, so I want to cover that. So again, it's here in a quick and simplified version. Your certificates of deposit, your life insurance, all of the above, because any lender, any CDFI will ask for and pull your credit report, which we talked about last week. And I mentioned annualcreditreport.com, especially if your last name is Smith, like mine is, or very familiar, Junior, all of the above, to see what's out there and make sure it's correct. Okay, so again, so I'm giving you personal cash flow and the actual personal financial statement. Okay, here's the business, the 12-month cash flow, courtesy of SCORE. We're not reinventing the wheel. Okay? And this is just a summary. Okay, cash sales, cash on hand. Last week, we heard about most agencies require at least a 25 to 30% contribution, which means skin in the game. So you see this here, cash sales. And it happens from time to time. If you're a seasonal business, to give an example, if you're a florist, I would assume, and I'm coming back to the month of February momentarily, that would be a certain month you would expect an increase in cash flow. Probably June, May, Mother's Day. So again, you can almost, in a mind's eye, determine per industry what months are heavily influenced with positive cash flow. And to give a quick example, I did work for a local governmental agency. It was in mid-June. Ladies and gentlemen, I received the payment for my invoice yesterday. Mid-June, yesterday. That's real world. And if you're working with governmental agencies, ladies and gentlemen, first you have to submit an actual bid. Okay, a bid for services. And once they purchase, it's called a purchase order. Okay. And then once the services have been rendered, then the invoice. You have to have that emergency fund because of cash flow. 82% of businesses, ladies and gentlemen, that's why they're falling short. 82. Latino, Asian, African American, you name it, they're falling short in that regard. All right, so I want to cover it. Let's go back into the slideshow. I have Kelly Services in the upper right-hand corner, Kim's Beauty Supply. Whenever I'm asked to provide services, and a lot of times I'll run summer camps with the Best Carolina, the minding your own business portion. I'm being very real and transparent with you. And I want to have like a gender, a female or someone else along with me, depending on the size of the group. I will outsource to Kelly Services in the chat room. Open the chat room up. Tell me, what are some of the benefits or what are some of the costs I could save by going through a temp agency? And remember, Samsung does it outside of Newberry. You're hired Samsung, albeit through a temp agency. Give me in your own, what do you think some of the costs? Activities, and we'll go to the other two parts momentarily. Cash paid to employees. So in the chat, just tell me just some, anyone in the chat room. And I'm going to continue, and then I'll probably look at the chat room momentarily, unless Kalina has anyone's in the chat. Okay, we're going to continue. All right, so again, cash payment to employees. And I have Kim's Beauty Supply. I've spoken to a number of cosmetologists and barbers, and I asked them, supply chain, who you buy your merchandise from? Well, I go to. Well, and again, and I'm not like, they're successful business owners, but in this advent of COVID-19 and cash flow, I said, well, would it possibly cost to save you some money to find out if there's a tier above Kim's, the way you can go and order wholesale. Remember, whenever you're cutting out that layer, there's a fee involved. There's a reason why convenience stores, when you're buying aspirin from a convenience store, it costs you more because it's so conveniently located. All right, so I want to cover that, okay? Good. Remember, in the chat room, temp agencies, temporary services, and I want you to, in your mind's eye, what do you think some of the costs that can be saved by hiring someone through a temporary agency, okay? And to kind of prime that discussion, one could be reducing mistakes. When you hire someone, it costs you twice the amount if you've hired the wrong person.
We got some responses in the chat.
Okay.
First one from Brandon says background checks.
Yes, SLED. Yes, SLED. Thank you. Anyone else? I'm going to continue, but again, if you're just unmuting it or typing in the chat room, yes, and it mentioned SLED background checks. That's done. Okay. I want to throw some tidbits out there. Workman's comp. Paul, where's my 401k? Where's my? When you're saving, okay, and I'm going somewhere with this because again, one of the leading expenses to a company is payroll. Okay, if this person works out, then it can be a permanent hire. But at Samsung, 12 months, ladies and gentlemen. Caterpillar, 12 months. You're hired, and if it doesn't work out, it's pretty much mutual. Okay. In the essence of time, here. Thank you, Washington Post. This is COVID-19. Average pay in U.S. supermarkets and restaurants hit $15 an hour. That's over $30,000 a year. Nearly 80% of workers now earn a minimum of $15 an hour. Some of these costs business owners can be passed on to the consumer, but there's only so much they'll allow. So now how do you reduce costs elsewhere? Okay. Again, yes, quote, the circumstances have changed. So if I'm mentioning COVID, it will be it'll be the Delta variant. Okay, so always be something in your business cycle that will cause an impact on cash flow. As a reminder, 82% of small business failures or business failures are related to cash flow. All right, cash part two, you have investment activities. I would caution you, okay, and I've heard folks say, well, I can let my company buy a vehicle and depreciate the whole thing. That's a nice Range Rover. But again, because you can do it, consult with a competent tax professional. And I'm not going to just point one particular individual out. The City of Columbia, we have a wealth of resources, the Women's Business Center, professionals that can sit down and say, is this in your best interest? Or better to lease a slightly older vehicle, okay, than literally depreciating it. But here, cash, part two, all of your cash flow, property, plant, and equipment, if you need it, okay, for your business. And part three, financing, debt, the line of credit. Last week it was mentioned having a line of credit. And I would say with 1 to 2 institutions, a business line of credit, because Wells Fargo, as you well know, they've canceled the personal line of credit. It can happen. And now it's been reduced to a loan, whereby if you had a $10,000 balance, now it's becoming a loan, okay? So the 3 parts of cash, all right? I've been hearing some things. Here's what I've been hearing. We don't take walk-ins. Pre-COVID? Pre-COVID? That's why, we don't take walk-ins. Pre-COVID, maybe. I only accept PayPal or Cash App. Well, I can tell you when I was paid yesterday, I was paid via check. Okay. So again, I know it's slow, it's snail. I get all of that again. So be careful with this. Pre-COVID, you might have been okay with that. And what I'm saying, well, we don't take walk-ins. Why? And some cosmetologists and barbers are closed on Mondays. I said, why? Just consider this. Here's a strategy. From 1 to 5 on Mondays only, we'll take walk-ins. And my wife shared with me that a shampoo and set is a basic type service that women receive. Wow. 1 to 5. And that person or persons can now be literally coached into having more expensive services. I'm just saying. Okay. We're not open on Mondays. I asked a barber and he successfully did this. He's not open on Monday, though he pays booth rent. He now has the VA bringing a minivan, a passenger van of 12 of those with special needs to his barbershop. He's got a corporate account. On what day? Monday. We have always ordered our supplies from, I'm just saying, well, if you've always find out where's the discounts then. If you've been that loyal, think about it. And here's what happened this past Valentine's Day. Yes, I put it in red. Valentine's Day this year was on a Sunday. I called in my class, ladies and gentlemen, I called to find out what a dozen of roses would cost to be delivered. I'm assuming it's not the owner, but an employee is a representative of your company said, yes, the amount was $75, but remember, sir, we're only going to be delivering up until Saturday at 6 p.m. I said, what? And the class was looking like, no, she didn't. We're only going to be delivering up until 6 p.m. on Saturday. In red, Valentine's Day was on Sunday. In the chat room, just in your mind's eye, how many dollars? It's not going to be a Valentine's Day in 2022. It might be another 6 or 7 years. What could that company have done to just maximize revenue on that one particular day? In the chat rooms. We're good? We're good. Here's an example, the revenue side. Just looking at this is a clear example, and you should know this for your company, what's driving the sales, okay? Food, number one. Second to that is alcohol. In some restaurants, the Applebee's of the world, that's why they have happy hour, drinks, all of the above, because alcohol and food. There's a reason why when you're ordering, I'm using an example, takeout, it could be Japanese or Chinese food, and you're ordering shrimp fried rice. There's a reason why you get 3 shrimp or 5 shrimp and a whole lot of rice. It's not by accident, class. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's by design. Rice is a starch. Chick-fil-A does not have a 99-cent menu. They're not open on Sunday. You see where I'm going? So I have to generate my cash flow Monday through Saturday. Those waffle fries are going to cost you. Okay? So again, cash flow. All right, let's continue. Here's another example. Office supply. Wow. In January, folks aren't buying many computers. Probably waiting on the tax refund or the newest models. Look at February. Here's cash flow. Okay, as you can see, paper, because you're buying computers, obviously. So do this for yourself, and any business coach can assist you with this, kind of give you an idea. What if you have 4 or 5 items? That's okay. Okay, remember, I know Ford, the Ford F-150 is the top selling vehicle in the Ford lineup. The Mustangs, yeah, the Edge, yeah, but the Ford F-150, they know it. They know what drives it, okay? Know what's driving your revenues. And being able to separate out the revenue, which I mentioned earlier. Here's an example in yellow. A lawn care company found that it made more money by planting flowers for a commercial building, okay, than just cutting the grass. Moving was priced low. You can call it a bait and switch to get the contracts. All right, so I wanted to cover that. And here, some tips: lease, don't buy whenever possible. Offer discounts for early payment. Accountants know this formula all too well. If someone owes you $1,000, you might say, you know what, I'll give you a 20% discount. If you can pay me quickly, $800, we'll call it a day in terms of cash flow, okay? Conduct customer credit checks. Those customers you want to go a long-term commitment with, make sure they have the funding necessary to literally support you. It's a win-win. And to my barbers, to anyone, my pest control guy, I mentioned to him, I said, you know what, you're a small independent contractor. Have you considered partnering with other small independent contractors? So when you're buying, okay, that pesticide, that insecticide, you're buying in bulk as opposed to going alone. Look at me, I never thought about that. I know some small builders, home builders, that's what they do. When they're buying lumber, no. I know we compete to build houses, but here we agree. Those 2x4s, we need to get the best price. Improve your inventory, sending out, again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence here, but as you can see. And what you have at the upper right is I have a blog here where in Atlanta, there's a buying cooperative where they can buy the extensions in bulk. They're not quite in India, but they're saving 30 to 40% of their bottom line by buying in bulk. And that's a private label, okay? A blog there. All right, let's look at a $5,000 pitch. Let's see.
Hey, Paul, we do have one quick question in the chat, and I'm going to open this up to the panel. If did you or Miss Sally or anyone else that's on, they want to know, could you provide the names of the resource centers that offer business coaching?
Well, Cheryl, the research shows, okay, from thank you, City of Columbia, that most of you are females. So Cheryl, I want to defer to your Women's Business Center. Well, again, I do it as well, but Cheryl, go ahead, Cheryl.
Well, yes, we here in Columbia, there are 3 women business centers in South Carolina currently. You have the one here under Benedict, operated by Benedict College, here in Columbia, 2601 Reed Street. You can go to our website. We also have one in the upstate, if you're in that area, and that's under Community Works, and we have one in Charleston. In addition to the women business centers, we have the small, go ahead. Okay, I thought somebody was saying something. We have the small business development centers. They're about 21. I worked with them for about 8 years. There are about 20 offices around the state in different regions of the state. And we have the SCORE. And I can put, let's see. And if you go to our website, bcwbc.org, you can find some of the information there. And I'll put in the chat box shortly, I think I'll put the SBA guide, or maybe Ms. Valerie can put that in there. It will also have the resources around the state. But you're welcome to join us. Just go to our website and click on request consultation. That will get you into our database as a contact. And from there, we automatically schedule you to meet with a client. And we have a book of about close to 200 clients. So we will get you in there, do an initial consultation and see. And if we can't help you, we can't do everything, but we can certainly connect you with other resources, because at each one of the centers across the state, and probably actually boots on the ground business consultants with all of us collectively, probably about 40 or 50 centers. So you can get some help no matter where you are in the state. And we can connect you with the people. Exporting, importing may not be my expertise. We do general business, but we can certainly get you with somebody that you can help you, that's an expert at exporting and importing. If you have products or services that you want to offer on the global marketplace, they're in the chat room. As Valerie just put the SBA resource guide. So please visit that, but you are also welcome to visit us.
And thank you, Cheryl. Again, I'm on 1225 Laurel Street in a part-time capacity. Cheryl's group does it all the time. And what I'm going to show you quickly, again, I love the coach, and in the event of, in the interest of COVID, we pretty much can do so via a Zoom call, or if you want to meet at a Panera, all of the above, I'm available. Here's a simplified business plan, and it's on the same website, Community Works, and I have a 12-pager I'll put in the documentation. But here, these are the essential questions: finance and accounting. Okay, and I'm not going to again insult your intelligence, but it's right here. Okay, how do you track income? I'm going all the way up. What is your marketing strategy? Again, this is not a 20-page business plan, but kind of keep it simple, simplified. Just answering these basic questions before you go into a coach. Okay, that would help you. All right, marketing, identifying your target market. Remember, Cheesecake Factory. Taking 10 ounces of Cheesecake Factory, you're not going to have a successful experience. It's not designed for that. You're not their target customer. So who are your target customers? Okay, there's Cookout, and then there's Five Guys. They're selling burgers, but there's a different target market involved. Okay, operations and management. Again, a paragraph. This is not a full-fledged business plan, but here's a simplified and easy way in, so you have a little bit of confidence talking to an actual business coach. And Cheryl's group, SBA, Alan, myself, we have that teacher's heart. So we're not going to talk down to you. No one will. All right. Products and services, what do they offer? Okay, what are you planning to offer?
Hey, Paul, we don't see that one on the screen.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. Thank you for that. Okay. So again, here it is. I'm going to quickly, and this is from the Community Works, as you can see. Finance and accounting, how do you track income and expenses? Okay. A paragraph. What is your marketing strategy? Provide an annual itemized marketing budget. Okay. They can be $2,500 or $1,000. But this is just something to bring in the door for a business coach. So you have a level of confidence, and we can make this, we can tweak it. What is your target market? Okay, always identify that. Here, operations and management, what is your level of experience? Okay. Again, what products do you have? What are you planning to offer? What is your competitive advantage? Who is your competitor? And what need does your business meet? Is it saturated? And I covered this on last Thursday. What inspired you? What is your objective? That's simple. Okay. Now, here I want to show you a $5,000 pitch. In the essence of time, where is it? And this young lady verbally said, Paul, I am an introvert. I hate speaking. She hated it. Here we go.
Do you have it playing, Paul?
Yes, we can.
We don't see it yet.
We offer a curated selection that's easy to browse, and Black stories are prioritized.
Here we go. I'm so passionate. Here we go.
And support Black stories year round while building connections that help home libraries and historically marginalized communities thrive. We are focusing on the South Side and North Side Black non-men residents here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We believe that we have the opportunity to capture at least 3,991 of those potential clients. Our current marketing strategy has been a lot of word of mouth through deep conversations with community partners. Our local media has featured us, and we've been in Spartanburg Herald Journal, the Greenville News, and we've also made a little bit of national media through a publication called Shelf Awareness and on MSN. We use Facebook to build an organic following by sharing contents and pop-up event invitations that are really driving most of our sales. We believe our competitive advantage is that we are in a niche market, we are really community-centered, and we are going after an untapped market, and we have lots of mentors who are already in this industry ready and willing to help us. Our business model is very simple. We offer online store where you can get books shipped directly to your house. We have audiobooks that are instant downloads to any device, phone, computers, and we do in-person pop-up shops so that you can browse, touch, and explore the books in person. Our projected revenue is about $27,000 for this year, as we just started and we're still in infancy and we're still working through how to best reach our target market. But we expect once we have a physical space in about 2023 to see that grow about 4 times. We've had significant traction. We have about 250 organic followers on social media. We have 130 paying customers to date, which is wonderful. Just last week, we did $600 in revenue at our second pop-up market.
So I'm going to stop right there, but you see my point from that simplified business plan. This introvert, she says she hates talking in public, was able to literally nail this and win through a CDFI, the South Carolina Community Loan Fund, $5,000. Here's $30,000. And I'll end with this. And I know I'm going over. I apologize. Please, City of Columbia, I apologize. Let's go 321.
Congratulations, well earned. Now, this final announcement is filled with great anticipation. I am personally so proud of all of your businesses. Owning a business is challenging, and I commend each of you for the time and energy you put in and for the service y'all provide to your communities. Y'all are the ones strengthening South Carolina, and I appreciate the services that y'all provide. This grand prize winner was chosen from a combination of a well thought out business plan, an engaging pitch, and their mission. The first place, the winner of $30,000, goes to Visa Now LLC with Nicole and Milton Gamble.
What you've just witnessed, ladies
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Good
I told
job.
Nicole.
Okay, what you've just witnessed was an actual CDFI. They went through next level, and we'll talk about this on Thursday. And you'll see a person who's also went through Fast Track, which are programs, hint, hint, from the City of Columbia. And remember, they shared with her 70% of this competition was based on the business plan, 30% on the presentation. And I know I've gone over, so you can hit me in the survey, but I got to give Oprah some credit. Go ahead, Oprah, share your thing. Here we go. Can everyone see this, yes or no? Can you see it? Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo. But what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Can I get an amen? Okay, I'm just saying. I'm done. I've gone over. Sorry, I apologize. Any questions? Any questions?
This is wonderful, Paul. Some things are worth going over, so you're good.
And no questions, but you got a lot of amens in the chat.
Okay, so Thursday, again, we'll go into skills to pay the bills. But again, within a 10-mile radius, there's Cheryl Reed Street, Laurel Street, Main Street. Again, ladies and gentlemen, and we are dedicated. All of us are passionate. And Cheryl she's kind of being modest. She has a Sally Dental Plan business plan. You thought I forgot. Am I right? Again, I've used it. That's very in depth. But some of you are in the embryonic stage. You're babies right now. That's okay. But again, Cheryl, yes, hats off to the Women's Business Center. Can't say enough. I'm going to shut up. I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. This has been amazing. I love how you compared the cash flow versus profitability. That was a very easy to understand way to differentiate between the two. So that was amazing. And I will, as Paul mentioned, I will share the PowerPoint with everyone who registered. You will receive an email with that along with a survey. And I'll also send a copy of the recording so that you can go back and watch it if you missed any of the notes. I have a page full of notes. This was good stuff, Paul. So thank you so much. Before we leave, I want to give an opportunity for our partners to say any closing statements before we wrap it on up. Cheryl?
Well, we've said so much. Thank you, Paul. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. Knowing how your cash is flowing. Everybody, individuals and business owners, you have to, you gotta know where you are at any given moment. And having Paul alluded to that earlier about the QuickBooks that he uses. Ladies and gentlemen, small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs, start from day one with your accounting system, whether it's QuickBooks or any of the other accounting platforms, so you can plug in the number. Every penny that you bring in, every penny that goes out needs to go through that QuickBooks system, so you can do, as Paul said, plan, look at your cash flow. And look at it now, not just this month, next month, 3 months. Look at where it's going to be in 12 months. So that's getting into the cash flow projections. We're here to help you, what they call crunch the numbers. Crunch the numbers. If you don't know what the numbers are and what they may look like, hypothetically, in 12 months from now, you're not going to grow a business. You're not going to grow a successful business, like Paul said. So we're here to help you with your cash flow projections. So is Paul, SBDC, and all of the resource partners. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cheryl. Valerie, do you have any final statements before we close out?
Valerie, you're muted.
Okay, see, this is what happens when you're trying to multitask because I'm answering emails.
And she was typing all that good information in the chat box.
And I'm taking notes with respect to what Paul and you have shared. I'm taking notes to what Aisha is sharing. I'm answering emails, and I'm loving this. So I just want to say that we are all here to support you small business owners. You are the lifeline of this state, and there is
Absolutely.
so much opportunity out here, particularly as the state is growing by droves every day. There are new people, new businesses, just an influx of opportunities coming here. So just know that we are ready, willing, and able at any given point. And in as much as you see if you could actually feel our excitement, you would know that this is legitimate. Like, we love you. Thank you each for allowing SBA to participate and for allowing me to share in this. Thank you. Looking forward to speaking with all of you small business owners at some point in your lifespan. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie, so much.
Aisha.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We have someone that's on the call. They reached out to me during the presentation. If he's still on, I hope he's still on. Mr. Brian Cox with South Star Financial. Brian, if you could unmute yourself and kind of just let everybody know who you are and tell us what you do.
Hi, how are you? I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, thanks for that opportunity. And my name is Brian Cox, and I'm the Client Success Manager with a family-owned business in the Low Country called South Star Capital. South Star Capital is private. It's not backed by a bank. And it does small to middle-sized business lending, so to speak. It's like an asset-based lending function, 150,000 to 10 million. And specifically or particularly, we get a wide variety of small business owners. The niche is really in certain set-aside groups, which would be disabled, veteran-owned, woman-owned, minority-owned, disadvantaged. And those businesses will have a need for capital to support them in getting a contract or delivering on a contract. Could be things like purchase order financing, accounts receivable financing, payroll funding. So it's a pretty wide variety. It's the next tier after a traditional bank. So it's not hard money or street money or merchant cash advance or anything like that. We do have businesses come to us where we might have to bail them out from a situation when they got in over their heads. And, watching the presentation here today and looking at the outline and overview of things like cash flow, really excellent. These are things that small business owners either pick up or learn over time. But for us, it's like someone that comes to us and says, look, we're turning work away, or we're afraid to bid on this contract because we've gone to the traditional sources. And it's always the same thing where it's important to realize what they don't know as a business owner, right? They're very busy with the day-to-day world and the family and the business, but they don't know every single aspect of what the options and what the availability is. So helping to educate them and say, look at all these different things, all these good people you could talk with. When it comes down to what's the best way to get a financial partner who will say, yeah, we'll back you financially. And so for our group here, it's I'm in the Charleston area, and there's also Atlanta and Charlotte, but it's always the same is in a simple one-page application where there's no cost or obligation. We'll give some advice and say, here's what some of the capital, maybe where you have a contract that somebody would say, I need $300,000, but I'm only going to need it for 2.5, 3.5 months, because that's how long it would take to complete the contract. It can be a really good solution if it's a really good fit. And our group will take a look at, what the background is, just like we're seeing in today's presentation. Where do you stand as a small business owner? What have you achieved in the time that you've been around? Have you been around 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years? And what's your objective? What are you trying to grow to? Well, it'll always boil down to the one part that we play, which is it takes money to make money. So finding out what is the most effective or the most economical source of money, certainly those grants, those things that are free, and there's more of them today than there's ever been. But that could be the total solution, as we heard today, nor is just getting private capital the total solution. There's a lot of other things that go along with managing, that money and being able to create revenue, put it back into your business, and being able to get to the point. Our perfect client is where after maybe a year or two of getting private capital, now they are ready to leave the nest. That's our model for our clients. And they will by then have learned a lot of great information from people in our network about government contracts and state and county and city contracts, and how to become a sub and work for the right prime and the right GC in some cases, but how to really grow your business in a way that makes sense. And there's so many options, really understanding what is best, what's the best fit for that company. But that's where we kind of step in. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, Brian, for providing that. We
Sure.
appreciate you participating in this webinar. So that's great, Brian. Paul, do you have any closing statements before we wrap it up?
No, I just placed in the chat room the link to the grants. Some of the grant periods have closed. Lowe's and I Fund Women. I've also put my direct cell number and a link to Community Works. Again, we're on 1225 Laurel Street, and I look forward to Thursday for Skills to Pay the Bills.
Thank you so much, Paul. So again, everyone be on the lookout for our survey that will come out this afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday at 2 o'clock. Everyone stay safe, and thanks again for joining us today. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you.